All right, people, we are live back to back today or this evening. I have my brother Kamara Little with us, and we're just going to be chopping up about the Liberia presidential election.
Yes.
And also, too, would love for you to give a brief overview in regards to the background of Liberia. It's very interesting because it's a country that was founded from the descendants of free slaves.
Yes.
But when you research it, these so-called free slaves were predominantly, correct me if I'm wrong, were you all right? You all right not getting kidnapped, are you?
Yeah, yes, I'm all right.
Okay, cool. Were predominantly mulattoes. And even to the point where a couple of the first presidents of Liberia were either mulatto or even white. I saw one guy, he was white. No way. He wasn't even, they didn't even try to pass him off as mulatto. He was obviously white. So
We call Madaro. Back in the day, they used to call African American mulatto. Mulatto is like a mixed race, like you mix with white and black. So a lot of people don't know those words no more, but those are the words they used to use back then. But now these days we call them African American, but it used to be mulatto.
Okay, but so you're even saying the jet black slaves were considered mulatto back in the day?
Oh, man.
Hello?
Yellow?
Yeah, I hear you. Hear you just fine.
All right, man. I lost you there.
I got you. I hear you. Kamar. Hello?
Give me a minute. Let me get you back. I don't know where you at.
No, I hear you. I mean, I hear you just fine.
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Okay, yeah. So
it's just the thing is now you're we can't see you. We see a picture of Messi. I guess you're a Real Madrid or Barcelona fan, whoever Messi plays for. That's what we see right now. It's a picture of Messi.
Okay, that's what you see right now?
Yeah, I see a picture of Messi. So if you want to, I guess change the settings where we can see you, or if you just want to roll with Messi, that's okay too.
Yeah, I'm a Messi fan, but let me try to find way. This is my first time using this.
Yeah. So basically, there's where your video would be, or your picture would be, like on the bottom right corner, I guess. If you click on the Messi picture, there should be a drop down, and I think you should be able to click on the setting where we can see you.
Okay, I think I'm almost there. Trying to find you.
Or on the top in the middle, there's a camera icon. If you click on that,
yeah,
you might have actually turned it off. You could turn it back on.
All right, almost. I think I found it now. So hold on, let me get you. All right, so have a good one. All right. All right. Sorry about that.
All right, we got you. Okay, you're back. Okay, cool.
I got it now. Yes.
Good,
this is my first. You got me used to this technology, but I like it. It's
yeah,
great.
man. This is the way to go. I mean, you can live stream Google Hangouts on YouTube, Facebook Live. I mean, it's awesome.
Yes. All right. Welcome back.
Okay, so you're back. So if you could give a back now, my question was, were even the jet black African free slaves that came to Liberia, were they considered mulattoes as well?
Yeah, like the black that came to the one that came to Liberia back then. Let's take our step back a little bit so we can give a little insight about Liberia history.
Go ahead.
Liberia started in a mix of during the time. Yeah, all right. You got me back?
Yeah, I got you. You're here.
All right. Starting the mix of the time, they had like a return of black, like doing Booker T. Washington. You know, when they have returns of black back to Africa's, where they have the chance where they wanted blacks to go back to Africa because of the changes in America. And then when they started that movement and the black wanted to go back, people like Booker T. Washington insist that blacks should go back. And then once they wanted to do that, and the black that decided to go back, they was one of those few people who end up going back. And then when they went back, they decided that Liberia was one of those places they liked the environment because the weather was conducive for them. The weather was kind of warm and nice, and it was on the coast, and it was accessible to fishing. It was accessible to a lot of other marketing and stuff. So once they went back those days in 1800, and when they went back, the first ship went back. They actually landed in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is next to Liberia. It's next to Liberia.
Right. Now, I thought Sierra Leone was more of a free slave state for those who came from England, from the UK. Is that right, or no?
Yeah, it was not kind of free because they were already colonized. They was not ready for Liberia. They was already colonized by the English.
Right.
The few that left in Sierra Leone, and the few that left in Sierra Leone was mixed with already. The English was already part of them, so there was mixed already. But the one that left and went to continue on the journey to Liberia, those are the ones they are calling the free slave, because they didn't want to come back no more to America. They liked it there, so they found a place they liked. So they decided to stay in Liberia, and then that's how they call it the free state or free slave. They are the only two countries in Africa, Liberia and Ethiopia, that's not colonized by nobody. Like no country, they are not. There's only two countries that always celebrate their free free movement. Not like Ghana, not like other country, Ivory Coast or other country.
Now you just brought up something. So Liberia and Ethiopia are only two countries that never been colonialized. That's what you just said, correct?
Yes, that's historically wise true.
Yeah,
so you can even look it up. So yeah, there's only two countries in West Africa.
Yeah, but what's funny is they never mention Liberia. They always just talk about how Ethiopia was never colonialized.
Yeah, exactly, because Liberia don't have too much significance of it's not because they don't want to mention it, but the significance was not too much like in terms of other like Ethiopians, where they have like kings. They have the king Adris or the king by then. They have more power. So they always have to mention them because they always have more power. They also have they always have more power back then than Liberia. The only thing, like most of the time, Liberia is mentioned because when you always talk about Liberia, you always got to talk about this president of America. Then his name was James Maroon. James Maroon, I think James Maroon was one of the he was like I believe he was the fifth, either the fifth or the sixth president of America. Like he one of those presidents, if I'm not believing the number, or the name, the capital city of Liberia after him, Monrovia.
So you said James Monroe.
Yeah, James Maroon. You can look it up. I think he was one of those numbers of president. Okay. The Liberian capital city was named after him. So this is one reason why like, historical tie with America. So these are some of the reasons why we have a historical ally with America. Most of the things that we do in Liberia, most of the things that we activities is always based on Americans American creativity. Everything is always have a conjunction together. So that's why you see Liberians and Americans in any way that we go, whenever, even in the UN, a lot of the thing is always the same. We always try to make sure that we stay in allies.
With that being said, and I'm going to change the topic a little bit, then we'll get into the election updates. Did Liberia support Obama and Hillary Clinton in taking out Gaddafi?
So taking out what?
Taking out Gaddafi.
No. I don't think a lot of them was not in support of that. But that one was individual. That Liberian was not part of. Liberia did not support that. It was against one of those because like for instance, a lot of the West African, a lot of the union, a lot of them was against the Gaddafi takeout movement. The Gaddafi takeout movement, a lot of African countries don't support it. Even you and I, we know that for sure. A lot of African country was against the Gaddafi regime movement where they didn't want it to move Gaddafi. And they knew the problem was going to be worse once ever you have Gaddafi, removed in especially in Middle East like that in Africa.
Right.
So now there are a lot of even Gaddafi have a significance in Africa. Many people have to know that. The African unions, Gaddafi was so strong members of African Union. He was founding members of African. He was part of the people who funded African Union. So it's like Africa it was a big betrayal for him, for Obama's and Clinton to just take him out like that. A lot of African, because you don't have a power. Once, if they have some of them, the African country have like a power to speak, to speak against it, they would, but they don't have the power. So that's why, a lot of people didn't really, say anything. But
oh, cool. So let's fast forward a little bit. So free black slaves come to Liberia, establish Liberia. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there was some fighting or some disagreements. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
How were these free black slaves viewed in Liberia when they first came? And I would say until I guess we get to like Samuel Doe and whoever the president was before him. That's when shit really started going south for Liberia, from what I understand.
Definitely. Things started going south between these free slave and black. We call them native African or native Liberian. Whenever you hear the word native, it means you are the born soil of the country. Like you are the soil. Like your parents from the land. So like if I tell you you are native of America, that means your parent from America. So we call them native. Like people like us, they would describe us as native Liberian. Like because we would be, we would be in terms of native than Congo. So those people, they made a name for them in Liberia. They call them Congo people. Congo. CONGAU, Congo. They call them Congo people. Us, they become a Congo people because they have a term for them. We separate them. It makes them feel special. Like they was more educated. They have more opportunity. They have a lot of advancement than the real native Liberian.
And
so it was kind of like crazy. Yeah, that's how it was. So a lot of them, the people have like advantage over native Liberian. They, in terms of educations, in terms of traveling wise, in terms of development, they have every advantage over the native people. So the problem started coming once they started making themselves feel a little special. Like right. They start making them feel like they're better than the native Liberian. And then that's how the problem started. So, and then the native Liberian started a lot of them also started educating themselves on the cover. Like they start having education, they started having exposure to the world, and they started thinking to themselves like, wait a minute, these people are not really doing us favor here. We thought they are doing us favor. They are not really doing the favors. What they need to do to help us with education, to help us with things. They was not doing that. They was only educating themselves. And then like, for instance, if you have a child, you give me your child to take your child to school, to put your child in education. What they would do is they will use your child to just become a cleaner in the house. Your child will be a cleaner. Your child would just be a dishwasher or cook, and they won't go to school. So now a lot of these native Liberians, they started finding that out, and then they got angry. They got angrier, and then that's how come we had our first what they call coup d'état in French. It's called coup d'état. It's like overthrow.
Okay. Who got overthrown? Like, tell us about the coup d'état. I never heard about that.
So Doe, Samuel K. Doe. Right. Samuel K. Doe was the native president, first native military master. He was a military master,
and including one of his bodyguard, which is called Kunyonpa. Kunyonpa was from a Mano side. He was from the from the Nima County, which is a county down Liberia. They call it Moro, Liberia. So he was from there. He and Doe, they got together. Like for instance, they was best friends in the soldier in the army. So they got together and say, you know what? We are tired of these people. They always constrain us. They always telling us what to do, but they're not giving us access to opportunity. So now I think it's time for us to do our part, our part to do justice for the native people. So them two got together. They went to the mansion. They overthrow Tugber.
Okay, Tolbert, right. So Tolbert was an American. Well, he was a Black American, correct? I guess.
Yes, Tugber was a Black American. He was a descendant of Black American. He was the same Black American, and they overthrow him. And then
Tolbert got killed by Doe, correct? Like they.
Yes, that's why it came to. At the end of the day, they end up instead of it being overthrown, taken out of there, he was not killed. So I mean, he was killed. So what it did was, Doe just manipulate him anyhow, and then overthrow him, coup d'etat, and kill him finally, and kill him automatically, because that was the best thing to do.
Okay.
Because if he would not have done that at that moment, it would have been a disaster later on for him and those friends.
Okay, but this is the catch-22. And correct me if I'm wrong. When Tolbert got overthrown, it seems as if Liberia was worse off after Tolbert was overthrown. Am I right or wrong?
No, you definitely right on that part. Liberia got worse, and Liberia got worse for the next. I mean, don't get me wrong. When Tolbert got overthrown by Doe was doing his part. Doe was doing what he promised to do at the beginning. He started doing developmental wise. He built a lot of things in Liberia up to now. Though a lot of things that infrastructure wise that is built in Liberia, it was done by Doe, and it's still there up to today. Doe did his part a little bit, but what became problem was when Doe brought up divisions about Native and Congo people. He pushed that a lot. Division, always native people. That brought a lot of division, and that became problem. And then later on, now his regime fell off. People that was working for him, a lot of them end up being Congo people, and the Congo people was the American descent, was from America. So they got tired of Doe. So a lot of them end up leaving Doe, and a lot of them were young people. They end up leaving Doe government and ran to America.
Right.
During the 1995.
So when does Charles Taylor come on the scene? Because this story is interesting. Now, he was allegedly in prison in America, escapes from prison, and leads a coup. Well, he didn't lead the coup originally against Doe. It was somebody else. What was the guy's name?
No. You see, that's why I was going to. That's how Charter come into play. Charter come into play because Charter was working for Doe. Charter working in Doe government as a minister. So when Charter and Ellen, the lady who's president today, both of them were working in Doe minister, and Doe was a young guy at that time. They were working in Doe minister. They got fed up because they realized that, wait a minute, this guy overthrew our own people, and we are Congo people. So he overthrew our people. So they got mad because Doe is president. Doe is not well educated. He's not well informed because Doe was not ready or high school graduate at the time. So they feel like somebody not well educated like that can lead them. So they got angry. So they came to America. They all ran up. Doe even put them in jail at some point. Doe put Ellie in jail, and Doe put a sanction against Charter that he's wanted because Charter stole a lot of money and came to America. When he came to America, that's how come Doe was best friend with he had a international relationship with the president at the time. What is this president name? The president in America at the time. I think
it would either be Ronald Reagan or
it was Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
Doe and Reagan was best friend. So those still Ronald Reagan government that Charles Taylor should be in jail because Charles Taylor stole the government money.
Right.
When Charles Taylor America, that's how Charter ended up in trouble and got into a prison. So when Charter got into prison, what they failed to realize, that Ronald Reagan regime also turned against Doe at the end last minute. They end up apart from Doe. So when it fell apart from Doe, Charles Taylor and his people were in America. They were already having what they call conferences on a deal conferences, talking to each other to have to go and overthrow Doe. So this is how the interesting part come in. The way you are going at, that's how it came in. That's how come Charles Taylor regime. That's how come Charles Taylor became interesting part for the UN. I mean, for the United States government. Charles Taylor, United States government decided that, you know what, we can make a news out of this guy. A lot of people don't believe that. People still don't have the sense that we all know when you go to jail in America, it's hard for you to be free like that. Who's gonna go to jail in America?
But the thing is, how do you escape from prison and then go become president of a country?
Of a country, so you gotta know that gotta be an insider. Something gotta be somewhere. So that's how come Chancellor was free from Boston.
And then who? And then tell us about Prince Johnson.
This is how Prince Johnson too got in. Prince Johnson was called upon by Charles Taylor when Charles Taylor was looking for people to help him to do the coup d'etat against Doe. So Charles Taylor, before when he went to like Africa, he didn't go directly to Liberia. He went to Libya.
Right. They got weapons from Gaddafi.
Libya, he called people like Prince Johnson to come in. When Prince Johnson come in, Prince Johnson and there's another fellow named Boley, George Boley. George Boley was another individual who was best friend with Prince Johnson. So they all went to a meeting and Prince Johnson met with them with Charles Taylor. Charles Taylor told them, you know, I have a good plan. And Charles Taylor was going to be the headmaster for the plan. And then Prince Johnson was going to be the bottom. So when they all agreed, Charles Taylor wanted power so bad. And also Madam Ellen too wanted power. The Ellen, the lady who's president now, she wanted power too. So when they got there, they have an agreement, everything. She went behind the back of Charles Taylor and called these two guys, the other guys, and tell them, you know what? If you guys get to Liberia, our mission is to make sure you capture Doe, and we capture Doe. After everything, you capture Doe, you'll call us, and we're gonna tell you the next step, the next move. So these guys got smarter too. After they got the instruction, they got to Burkina Faso. They got to Burkina Faso, which the only country that actually led them to have a training, because Guinea rejected them. Guinea said, no, we're not going to let you guys come here and have a training and go kill our people, our neighbor. And Ivory Coast was the only country that actually gave them access to the borderline to Liberia, because Liberia have a border with 3 countries, with Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Ivory Coast. So Ivory Coast allowed them access. So after that, when these guys got there, Prince Johnson realized, you know what? Why would I kill my own people? Why would I go against my own neighbor people? You know, so that's how come Charles Taylor comes in from there and met them at the border, and then they divided. Prince Johnson ended up staying in Nimba. Charles Taylor ended up going to Monrovia. George Boley started following. He went to Monrovia. He has his own place. Charles Taylor, they divided the whole country themselves, and the war started coming in, and Gaddafi gave them access with a lot of weapons and stuff to come and destroy our people. So that's how come all this started, and all these things going on. And by then, since Doe became president, after the few years after that, things never got better again. Things never got better until after the next 14 years. And then things just got better the following since 2003. When Chateau got in power in 1996, since then to 2003, things will never got better for Liberia.
Well, how do Liberians feel about, because Prince Johnson is currently living in Liberia, right? He's like, in fact, didn't he run for president like a couple years ago, or?
Yeah, he still ran for president in his own little view. He think he's popular, but he's not going nowhere. But the thing is, you see, Liberian people are afraid of war. They're afraid of people dying anymore. Like, we don't want to see We don't want to see no more. We don't want to see people dying no more. We are tired of war and all that. That's why we just letting him have his time. He's old now. That he just have his time and die and like and get away with it. Because if we follow Prince Johnson, if we say we should go after him, that means we have to go after a lot of people. A lot of people. Like even the president, the current president now, she was member of the rebel group, that bring war to Liberia, and a lot of other people that we know that was members of the people that brought war to Liberia. So we just feel like, you know what, it's just best that these people, they just go quietly. They'll just get rid of them because people don't want war no more.
Okay.
That's why President keep running for president. Nobody ready to vote for him, but he's just there.
Okay. What how do people feel about Elaine Johnson? Sirleaf, right? Elaine Sirleaf, that's her name, Elaine Sirleaf Johnson, right? What's the I mean, she was for the president, so they must like her.
Elaine Sirleaf Johnson, yes.
Right.
Well, as for her, it's like people feel like people don't really admire, people don't like her, they're just afraid of her. Like she is the most what we call political scientist in Liberia. You know how that's a term for her. We call her political scientist, which means you are masterminds of in politics. You are the best of the best. And we also call her nickname Iron Lady. Iron Lady means I'm the strongest. I can't break. You can shake me, but I don't break.
Okay. Okay.
People don't really like her, but they just have to respect her. Like they just have to. And other people don't like her, and also people also admire her courage. But when it turns to bad dealing, like people don't really admire her like that. Honest truth.
And this is a little bit off topic, but 3 years ago was a hot topic. Ebola. Do Liberians feel as if Ebola was something that the West, I guess, used chemical warfare that the West implemented in Liberia? Like, what's the thought on Ebola in Liberia?
This Ebola case, man, is everybody is kind of like this and this. If you do the pattern, I went on Google and searched for the pattern on Ebola.
Right.
I realized that this Ebola pattern is real. It was real. That it was a pattern signed by each president, Guinea, and all these 3 countries in Liberia, in Africa. Like they allow these people to do a test, for these scientists to do a test on our people. And when this test failed, they couldn't do nothing about it now. And once you allow the test to happen, the test said whatever comes out, whatever it is, you already agree. So this Ebola thing is something that is not something that in nature. It was something that was man-made. They did it to test, because if you realize within few months they had a vaccination already, so everything was prepared, but it was just a testing. They just wanted to see how wide would it spread out, how far can it go. So Ebola thing was a setup. Everybody know that. Everybody you go on Google, you Google the partnering on Ebola, you're gonna see the partnering. It said it.
Okay, people in the chat room, make sure you're liking the video, super chat if you can, and also make sure you guys share as well. Somebody in the chat room said that George Weah won the presidential election against Ellen Johnson in 2006, but the U.S. government backed her. Is there any truth to that?
Yes, of course. That's what I was telling you. Whenever you got to understand the history of Liberia, that's why we have connection with Liberia. For instance, the way I'm looking right now, and the way a lot of young Liberians in America, if they work for United States government, and you work undercover, undercover, CIA, whatever you did for United States government, if you work for United States government, it's a promise in the document. We cannot let you down. And whenever you have desire to run for any political affair in your nation, we have the right. We will back you up 100%. And what people fail to realize is Ellen worked for United States government before. Ellen was a CIA in Doe government for Liberia. She would tell America what Doe is doing wrong. And then she will run to America and she will tell them in America what Doe is going wrong. At the same time, she worked for Doe government. So United States government would not allow Ellen against any political party in Liberia at the time for Ellen to lose. Ellen will win any political campaign, anything, election in Liberia at the time. That's why she won twice. Everybody knows she lost. She lost 2005. She lost 2011 because of a connection with America, because of her international reputation. The election was taken and given to her. But now she know nothing is on her side. She no longer younger. She's older. She cannot contest. Her time is over constitutionally. So now it's time for a new person. So that's why people are debating whether she giving her vote to George Weah. Some people say she's supporting George Weah. That's what some people say, but I don't have proof of that.
Wow. So currently right now we are in the middle, or it might even be over, or it's the Liberia presidential elections going on right now as we speak. George Weah, and who's he running against?
Joseph Nwabwaka.
Now, the two people who are running for this office, I mean, if you don't mind me asking you, who do you think is more fit to lead Liberia?
Well, this is where we get it sometimes politically incorrect and politically correct. So I personally think George Weah is popular favorite.
Okay.
George Weah is popular favorite for many reasons. George Weah is popular favorite because of his football ability. George Weah is popular favorite because of he's young. George Weah is popular favorite because they believe if George Weah could have done it while he was football player, he could do it when he's president. And also, they know at this movement, George Weah have more momentum than Joseph Boakai because George Weah is younger. Joseph Boakai is older. He's almost 73, I think 73 or 72 years old. So his strength and George Weah's strength is incompatible at this moment. So if you start looking at these two candidates, George Weah have all the ingredients, everything is favored on his side to win this election. Okay. And also, here's the thing. The Prince Johnson guy you was talking about earlier is supporting George Weah. And the county he's from, the county is the county he's from is like Florida in America. Once you win Florida, you win any presidential candidate in America. And the county Prince Johnson is from is like the county in Liberia. Once you win that county, you win Liberia presidency.
Okay. All right, cool. So, I mean, but so George Weah wins. Like, what's next for Liberia? I mean, Liberia's had like a lot of African countries, unfortunately, has had a troubled past. Like, what's next in regards to the future of Liberia?
George Weah win. Let's say we wake up tomorrow, and then we see on the news, breaking news, your new president of Liberia is George Weah.
Right.
That is announced. We all would be joyful because as a young person, I grew up with George Weah. George Weah is 51 years old. You know, George Weah is 51 years old, and George Weah, I grew up with George Weah. George Weah and we relate a lot because I grew up with my grandmother, and he grew up with his grandmother. His grandmother raised him up. My grandmother raised me up, and we had a lot of things in common. He played soccer, and when I was growing up, we want to be like George Weah. When we was little, we want to be like George Weah. We want to grow up and play football like George Weah, be like him. Everything that was about him, we admire him. How he plays, the tactic-wise, how he score goals. When we score, we want to be like him. So if George Weah winning presidential in Liberia, it's like, for us, it's a joy for young people. You know, like we feel like George Weah can relate to us, where he grew up from. He was a poor guy. He didn't have nothing. He came up from nowhere and he made it to somebody. So if he can win, we believe that anybody can win. And if he win, Liberia's future will be brighter. And this is what's going to happen. He want to bring development to Liberia, and he want to do roads. He want to do a lot of things, education. People say he's not educated, but he said he can do more for the educated people than educated people have done for the young, not educated. So it's kind of complicated, you know, because if Georgia win, Liberia gonna be better because we have seen Georgia said it, and hopefully he's gonna do it. You know, hopefully he's gonna do what he said.
Yeah, I mean, it's just African politics in general are interesting. It's interesting for the most part. What it's just I don't know, man. I'm just worried that if you believe these politicians in general, George Weah, if he's no different from the past politicians, I mean, do you think he's going to be compromised by the West? Do you think he's going to serve the best interests of the Liberian people, or is he going to serve the best interests of the West? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Man, we all know politicians will always be politicians. It's just like whoever can do a little bit more. If I can really, if Georgia can really, if he can focus a little bit, if he can focus just not 100%. No politician gonna focus 100% and do exactly, especially in Africa.
Right.
Especially in Africa, it's always gonna be the West gonna always have power over them. But if he can just focus just 20% and do more than his predecessor, and do more than what Ellen have done, and do more than what other presidents have done, if he can just do 20% or 30% of what Liberia need to be a little bit, if he just can do a little bit, the next president come, they're gonna do little, they're gonna add up to it. But if he can just do a little bit that he promised, I think like I think Liberia gonna be better off. Because the thing is, one thing about Liberia, they're not under too much pressure to be compromised with West. Because if you have connection with America, you're not under too much pressure like other countries. Other countries are under too much pressure because they have to listen to England. I mean, they have to listen to other countries like England, Russia, China. Liberia is not like that. We have a choice. For us, it's better because we listen to America. America's the only country that can really tell us something that we can listen. But the rest, we don't have to listen to you. If we don't want to have an agreement with you, we don't have to sign an agreement with you. But for America, we must, because it's always been like our brother. That's our big brother.
So do you think George Weah pretty much has it in the bag as far as winning the election?
You say you have a what?
Do you think George Weah is pretty much going to win this election coming up?
Pretty much what I'm looking at right now, at the updates that I'm looking at on my computer that is coming up to me right now, pretty much I think it's a done deal. Because even one of my friends, his name is Harry Johnson. He's live right now. He's telling me it's done deal. He's happy. He's dancing. He's jubilating. And this guy is jubilating, drinking, because, you know, they know once, you know, it's done deal. Just like winning. And one of my brothers just called me from one of the leaning county, which they call Nimba County. And one of my brothers called me from there right now. As I was on the phone, you were calling me. He's just said, Joshua winning Nimba County, and once you win that county, the chances are you win. So if you don't win that county, the chances are you're not going to win. But once you win in that county, you're going to win the presidential election. It's always been determined by that county. So Joshua winning right now. I'm thinking right now, George is over unless something changed tonight. Tomorrow morning we wake up, it's George Weah.
Now there was a candidate that his name jumped. I mean, I think it was Alexander Cummings. Is that his name?
Yes,
Alexander
sir.
Cummings. He caught my attention because obviously with the name Alexander Cummings, I'm like, okay, he must be a descendant of a free slave. Do you think, and somebody asked this in the chat room, do you think, you know, a lot of African Americans go and relocate to Ghana, and, you know, they contribute? A lot of African Americans that relocate to Ghana, they open up businesses and they contribute to the economy. They create jobs. I know Bob Johnson, the owner of BET at one time, I think he had a huge resort in Liberia. Do you think Black Americans can play a role? And do you think Liberians would trust Black Americans in playing a role in, I guess, redeveloping and rebuilding Liberia?
Definitely. What happened was after the Civil War and after all the war, a lot of Black people, when they left Liberia, a lot of African descent, when they left Liberia, they never looked back because they never feel like the security to go back to Liberia. But right now, at this moment, after 12 years of peace and 12 years of progress, I just left Liberia. I can tell anybody, whether you black, white, that Liberia will be your best country right now after Ghana in West Africa to start development, to start go and find your base and start something, because Liberia is gonna boom. And when Joshua win, what you're gonna see is a generational change. That's what we all call a generational change. Development-wise, Liberia gonna start booming because Liberia is not even developing it. Liberia still got a lot of resources, a lot of things that need to be built, a lot of people that need to come in. So black people, as far as black African American, they can trust going to Liberia because at least they don't have to change their language. They don't have to change their accent. Liberia, we can understand you. You can speak you can come from America and go to Liberia today and feel like you're home because we understand you. A lot of people, some young guys in Liberia, they speak just like somebody living here. You won't even know the difference until they tell you I was born in Liberia. So as far as African American going to Liberia, I will encourage it. I will encourage them to go to Liberia, like they're going to Ghana. Liberia is a nice environmental wise. The landscape is beautiful. And they got a lot of natural resources, a lot of vacation spot. They will have a blast time. Everybody will have. If you go to Liberia as an African American, you feel welcome. We are only country in Africa. Like we don't have a name for you. Like if you go to Nigeria, like if you go to Nigeria as a Black American, they call you Akata. Akata is a name they make for you. They made a name for you as a Black American, as an African American. But we, Liberia, we don't discriminate. We don't have a name for you. We take you as a brother. Because Liberia and America, we are all the same. Every day people on vacation. We go on vacation from America all the time. It's like a vacation spot. To us, a second home. We leave from here, we go to Liberia, we come back right away. So we work on Black American, we work on anybody to go to Liberia right now and do anything they want to do business-wise. Like I have a lot of African American friends in Atlanta. They're doing a lot of good things in Liberia. They're doing development. They have like a reserve. People go on vacations and have fun on the beach. We have a beautiful beach.
Right.
We are very lucky. The beach is very beautiful in Liberia. Like reserve is beautiful. Like hotels, anything. And it's cheap. It's cheap. So it's not expensive.
Like I said, Bob, you guys can look it up in the chat room. Bob Johnson, a former owner of BET, he actually built a beautiful resort in Liberia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've been there too. It's very beautiful. It's on Robertsport Highway, and it's right on the beach. And it's beautiful resort he built. It's nice, quiet, and peaceful. And it's relaxing. They got massage center, they got sports center. And he built a nice resort over there. And it's fun. It's fun. Liberians are very peaceful people. You go there, they respect you, very respectful people. Anybody go to Liberia, when they come, they're gonna say everything, other stuff about Liberia, but they're not gonna tell you Liberians are disrespectful. They are the most respectful people. Like they welcome you, they salute you, they do, they welcome you. And we have a transportation system. They're gonna be accessible. Everything gonna be beautiful.
Good.
So the same way Ghana is developing, we want Liberia to develop like that. And especially Black American, they should go to Liberia because Liberia is close to their home. Liberia should be the next home for Black American, not Ghana. If you look in the history, a lot of this country never accepted Black American than Liberia. Liberians, we accepted Black American. The Native people never discriminated Black American. We accepted them. We welcomed them. And since now, the history has always been there. Black American always welcome in Liberia than any country in West Africa.
And then somebody, and this will be the last question. Somebody in the chat room said, where is it? Here we go. Why are Liberians still in the Buddha Buram camp in Ghana after all these years? What is Liberia doing to bring them home? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I'm familiar. I have a lot of friends from there. A lot of friends who left from there and come to America. Well, sometimes Africa, we feel a sense of like what they call fear. Fear. Once you leave a place, once you leave a place in an agony, a place in a frustration, it's hard to feel like going back to that same place again. So a lot of those people, once they left Liberia, with everything messed up, with their home destroyed, family killed, mom killed, dad killed, brother killed. Once they left with that sense of anger, it's hard to go back to that place again. Like, you feel like you don't have a sense of place again. They feel like you don't have a sense of belonging. So it's like some of these people are in that camp because they don't feel like going back. Like they feel like the fears. Every time they talk about Liberia support, some of those people, every time they talk about fear to some of these people about going to Liberia, they don't get into them. So for me, that question was, people don't feel like going to Liberia. Some of these people don't feel like going to Liberia. Otherwise, Liberia's government has always said, yo, come back home. You know, even the refugees that was in Guinea, they all left. I was a refugee in Guinea. I was in Guinea during the war when I was a young guy, a little kid, a young guy. I left. I was refugee when the war stopped. I went back to Liberia. My grandma took me back to Liberia. A lot of refugees that were in Liberia, in Guinea, they went back to Liberia. The people in Ghana, maybe they like it over there. That's why they don't want to go back. You know.
Well, Kamara, I appreciate you coming on the platform. We finally got together. I know we've been trying to do this for a little minute now, but thank you so much for coming on. In closing, you have the floor. You go ahead and close out, and also please share your contact information with people who are interested in getting in contact with you, so they can get in contact with you.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for having me. I know we've been trying, but this might not be the last.
Of course not. Of course not. This is what I tell people. Unless you just piss me off, whoever comes onto my platform, you always have a home here. So anytime you want to come on and share something, you're more than welcome. Just let me know.
Definitely. I appreciate you. And to close out, I just want to tell you that, especially your viewer, I don't know your viewer yet, and I don't know what is the majority of your viewer are. But however, if whoever interested in Liberia wants to know more about Liberia, they are feel welcome to email me. My email is Kamara Keita, KEITA 12@gmail.com. That's my email. They can email me and ask me some question about Liberia, or email me for some statement that they didn't understand from me. I can clarify for them. And as far for this debate, this other topic, when it was all about Liberia, the elections, we all hope for the best. And young people like us who grew up in George Weah time, we want to see the changes that George Weah been talking about. Even an example, when the war was going on in Liberia, George Weah was the only celebrity that went to Liberia during the middle of the war and stopped the war in Liberia, in the middle of the war, and tell the people in his people to stop. And he negotiated on the behalf of the Liberian people. Even in Butubura camp, George Weah went there and gave the people money and feed the people. So he have done a lot, and we hope he can do more when he becomes president. Hopefully he have that one guilt in him. But thank you for having me, and I appreciate it, and hope to look forward to updating you more on Liberia election maybe in the next few weeks to let you know who's the final winner.
And then also, in fact, let's if you're free this weekend or whenever you're free this week, we can actually do another show just dealing with doing business in Liberia. If you're open to it. So let's go ahead and plan for that. But everybody, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for spending your Tuesday nights with us, your Tuesday night with us. Search for Uhuru, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you guys are following, liking, subscribing, sharing the videos. If you're new to this stream, please subscribe. Please share the videos. Also go to searchforuhuru.com. Go to Amazon.com. Search your name, Dinah Samir. Please buy a book. And also go to DinahSamir.com. People, once again, thank you so much for coming on. Search for Uhuru, Dinah Samir, Kamara Little. Till next time, peace.
All right.